Hey guys, this is Sports with Dylan. We have gotten a couple of coaches hired in the past week or so, but one big one came today with the Panthers choosing their new head coach, and it is to be Frank Reich. Before I get to Frank Reich, first of all, the Browns have now hired a defensive coordinator in Jim Schwartz. I like this move. Their old defensive coordinator sucked. Maybe this guy can make the most out of Myles Garrett and whoever else they have. I'm not really sure. Deion Jones is a free agent. Jadeveon Clowney's a free agent. So it's tough to say what this defense will look like, but Myles Garrett being the big one of what he will look like next year. Next up, the Patriots needed an offensive coordinator. Matt Patricia and Joe Judge are not the kind. We want someone that's an offensive gem, someone that's going to be great. So they chose the best option in Bill O'Brien. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't the most surprising move because Bill O'Brien was one of Belichick's assistants for quite a while. But I still wouldn't call him very good of an offensive coordinator. Sure, he's better than Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, neither of which were actually trained to be offensive coordinators. But he's still not that amazing of a coordinator. I feel like Mac Jones is still not going to love his situation with Bill O'Brien. But at least it's better than Matt Patricia and Joe Judge. And finally, Nathaniel Hackett has been hired as the New York Jets offensive coordinator. This move isn't actually that surprising. The Jets fired their offensive coordinator after he failed to make the most of an offense that had potential. Although, I've got to give credit to Mike LaFleur. He wasn't given the best quarterback situation. Joe Flacco, Mike White, and Zach Wilson are not what I'd call elite. So I would have kept him for another year. But anyways, Nathaniel Hackett was an amazing, absolutely lights out offensive coordinator in Green Bay. He did amazing things with Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, all of them. He was amazing. I don't get why he didn't work out as a head coach. It doesn't make sense to me. I know some people just don't. But Nathaniel Hackett was a really good coordinator. At least he looked like it. It's possible that Matt LaFleur was the whole team and that Nathaniel Hackett did nothing. But this seems like a good hire because Nathaniel Hackett proved to be a good coordinator, so why not give him another shot at being a coordinator? If this does not work out, then that will be the end of him being an NFL coordinator. So on to Frank Reich, which is a move that surprises me quite a bit. Frank Reich was fired mid-season from the Colts because the Colts were so bad. They couldn't do anything. They have a very, very talented roster, and yet they were not making the most of it. And I blame a lot of that on Frank Reich. Now, don't get me wrong, he had some success in the past with the Colts, but he was never amazing. I'm not going to go out and call their Frank Reich an offensive gem or anything. He's fine. He was good in Philadelphia as the offensive coordinator, sure, but he never proved in Indianapolis to be that amazing of a coach. And he was only fired a mere couple of months ago. It's not like it was a couple years back that he's just been taking off. Sure, fine. We'll bring him back to the NFL because he was serviceable for a while. But no, it was a couple months ago and the Colts did awful. He couldn't make the most of Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan looked washed, don't get me wrong. But even still, Matt Ryan's not that bad of a quarterback. Frank Reich should have done better. And there are so many better candidates out there. Eric Bieniemy, namely. Sean Payton, as I talked about before, is a coach that is going to choose where he wants to be. If Sean Payton interviews there, good for you, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're getting Sean Payton. Sean Payton's going where Sean Payton wants to go, not which team's going to hire him. Because every team will be looking to hire him. So, I'll take him out of the bill. But obviously, Eric Bieniemy could have gotten Kellen Moore, Dan Quinn's return to coaching, but Leslie Frazier, Ken Dorsey, Shane Steichen, Jonathan Gannon, Brian Callahan, those are just off the top of my head. If I were to look at a list, I could find way more better candidates. There's two sides you could pick. You could either pick a defensive mind, someone that's going to make the most of that budding defense with Derek Brown and Brian Burns. Or you could take an offensive mind, someone young maybe, that's going to do well with their future franchise quarterback. If they're looking to roll with someone in the draft, then you always want a young coach to go with them. They always seem to work together. Think of Tua and Mike McDaniels is the first example I can think of right now, because that is just a good pairing. I'm not sure. Frank Reich has never proved to be great with developing quarterbacks. He had Andrew Luck for one season. Andrew Luck was good. Then he had Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers wasn't bad. I think Phillip Rivers could have stayed for another year, but he didn't, so they went for Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz wasn't awful until the last week, where he was absolutely terrible, and they end up shipping him out to the Commanders. And then this year, he had Matt Ryan. And that was bad. Matt Ryan just couldn't play at all. It just looked sad, honestly, watching Matt Ryan this year. And again, I'm going to blame a significant portion of that on Frank Reich. So it does not make sense to me why the Panthers would then go and hire Frank Reich when there are so many better candidates out there. But we'll just have to see. Maybe Frank Reich was actually an amazing hire, and he will prove to develop whoever they draft, or if they sign someone in free agency. Ask me, that's a terrible idea, but we'll see. Anyways, maybe he'll prove to be maybe this team could honestly win the division next year with the defense they have. But I'm not entirely sold. Thanks for watching.